This is UltraCycling Magazine, formerly known as the Ohio Ram Show.
Jim Lawyer here, and you're watching another live edition of the UltraCycling Magazine show, the show about all things ultracycling, bicycling, just everything. Hey Lee, how's it going tonight?
Well, we're what you call a hot mess, Jim.
Oh, I heard that. I'm working on like 3 hours sleep over the last 3 days.
Yeah,
so
Jim's
I'm
been working all kinds of crazy hours, and as you can tell, my throat's about shot.
Yep, yours and mine
So
both.
we're going to try to suffer through here
Definitely.
and get through to Alberto somehow.
Mm-hmm.
He's not with us yet, but he said he would make it in here in time.
Gotcha.
So we're counting on that.
Yep. Gotcha.
And we come to you because the time stations here in Ohio, time stations 41 in Oxford, 42 in Blanchester, and 43 in Chillicothe, the Race Across America time stations.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we're here to support Mike Minium and his sign program. Those of you who come through on the Race Across America love the signs. They're a great souvenir. We'll tell you more how to get them at a later time. And I see Alberto's made it with us. We'll get to him here in just a minute. We want to thank everybody who follows us on Facebook and those of you who subscribe on YouTube. And when you're subscribing there, be sure to ring that bell.
Definitely. And tonight,
let's don't bother to give away tonight.
Okay, that's cool. We can do that.
And then remember the website, ucm.bike, because that's where our show notes are at.
Mm-hmm.
And links in tonight's show will be for the Florida 500 website.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
I'm going to have the director of it on in a minute, Alberto Blanco. And so if you go to the website, ucm.bike, the top show there, look at the show notes, you'll see a link to that show.
Definitely.
I did a little interview with Leah Thorvilson this week. You want to run that for us?
Definitely will.
Jim?
Here we go.
Good evening, Leah.
Good evening. How are you?
I am well, and congratulations on winning. I believe this is your first UltraCycling event.
It was, yes.
And so how did you manage to get into that, Leah? I mean, what brought you to your senses?
Well, I am absolutely every bit of credit for that, other than the decision that ultimately, came down to me, would be to my best friend, Christy Tracy, who's very well known in the ultracycling world, and her husband, Jamie, who's probably equally as well known for being, her crew chief, and he does a lot of neutral support. And of course, Scooby Tracy, the dog. So all three of them really, especially Scooby, really twisted my arm into it. No, they put a bug in my ear about it 2 years ago when I was out at the same event crewing for her in the 24-hour. And I mean, I didn't fight it too hard. I just also didn't take it too seriously. But about the middle of this, I compete in regular road events, and I had a really good year this year. And about midway through the season, Jamie Tracy sent me, he said, registration's open. And it was just one of those moments I didn't even really think about it. I was just like, And I texted him. I said, "Well, I guess I'm doing it. I'm in." Yeah, it just seemed like a fun challenge, and 6 hour felt really achievable. I mean, achievable as far as completing it. I didn't at the minute. I didn't think about what the competition would be like, how I might do. I just thought I'm in good shape. I can take on this challenge. It sounds like fun. Let's go.
Leah, is there ultra cycling in your future?
I probably so. I don't foresee myself doing 24-hour just because I don't like the darkness. Now, maybe if there was something like if there was an international 24-hour in one of the Scandinavian countries when they have midsummer and there's only like 3 hours of dark, that I could get talked into. But otherwise, I think I don't foresee myself doing more than the 12. The 12 one day, probably one day.
Okay, very well. Well, according to my notes here, in your 6 hours, you did 132 miles. Is that correct?
Well, it is. That's the correct result. The painful part of the result that is not there is that I came through. I mean, the way that event is. You get credit for complete laps, and I missed an additional lap by 30 seconds.
Oh, wow.
So,
Oh, wow.
according to my Garmin, which I know doesn't matter in the result, but I actually did the distance that would have tied the course record.
Well, I looked at that number, 5 hours 47, and I
Yeah,
thought you almost had enough time for another lap.
almost.
Almost. Well, you know,
Yeah,
almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades,
that's
But
right.
congratulations. We welcome you to the Ultra Cycling Magazine and have a happy choice of introducing you to the Ultra
I'm
Cycling
not sure I'm
family
back or not, Jim.
worldwide. Thank you so much, Leah.
Thank you.
There we go.
There we are.
Yep.
Now, 30 seconds. I'm sure she sat around and tried to figure out where those 30
30
seconds
seconds went from. Yep.
might have come from.
Definitely. That's so close, but so far.
And we hope to see her back on the ultra cycling circuit from time to time, Jim.
Definitely. Yes,
Yeah,
for
really,
sure.
she didn't say it there, but she was just that one lap would have made her a tie with the course record for 6 hours.
Wow. That would have been
So,
so cool. Yep.
What do you
First
want
time
to say?
out. Yep.
Well, and a couple weeks ago, we announced that we were going to have a reporter from Thailand, Air Wisra. She had the flu. She's better.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave us a little video, and we'll talk a little bit about.
Hello, my name is Air from Thailand. I'm the one of the cycling in Thailand. In Thailand, we have the many event about the long distance cycling. We have the every week event, 200, 300, 400, 500 kilometer, 600 kilometer. We have the every week. So it's almost the famous the long cycling in Thailand. They have there are many cycling to join every week, every route. We have the easy route for the 200 is the flat, and the 200 for the highest climbing, and long distance is around the 1,000 kilometer for the from like the from the west to the east, and from the center of the Thailand to the northern and come back again. It's very long for the around the 1,500 kilometer. I am one of the cycling that have been the 1,000 kilometer in Thailand. Is from Bangkok to the northern and come back to Bangkok again. If you want to come to cycling in Thailand, you can contact me. I can help you for many things. I'm very happy for be the part of the cycling the magazine. Thank you.
It's a very good job. Sorry for cutting you off earlier.
No problem.
I got click happy.
like I said, we're both in a hot mess tonight. We'll just
Yep.
bear with us, folks. Air has a lot of ideas for shows, or for videos for us, and there's a lot going on in Thailand apparently. And she's going to be a great person to tie into that for us, and we appreciate that. There's one more big event in 2023 coming up on November 25th. There's the Deccan Cliffhanger in India, Jim, and hopefully we'll get reports on that later. We're going to, next week, we're going to have Lisa Ashford from Australia. Jim and I have to get up before breakfast to get her because of the time difference. But she's the first woman to circumnavigate Australia.
Wow, that'd be awesome. Awesome show.
And then the week after that's going to be Thanksgiving. We're going to take that off. We might play a best of show,
Gotcha,
Jim,
yep.
from the past. You know,
That makes sense. Yeah.
Run something so that the people who are not in the United States and not celebrating a weekend, big weekend, family coming in from all over the country. It's going to be a big time. But
definitely
next week, Lisa Ashford from Australia.
Yep. And don't forget, all you guys out there watching, chat is live. So post your questions and comments. If you're watching, just let us know where you're from.
Yeah, and if you got a question, I think people ought to have questions. Hey, help me out. Help us out tonight with some questions here.
Definitely.
So we can have some. So anyhow, why don't you get Alberto on here, Jim?
All right, here we go. Hey, Alberto.
Hey guys, how are you?
Very good.
All right, good.
You said you couldn't hear that video, Alberto?
Yeah, I couldn't hear either of the videos. I couldn't hear the first lady or the second lady. I couldn't hear it. It was really, really low. I don't know if anybody else could hear it, but I couldn't.
Okay, well, we'll have to check on that. I hope that people did. I did hear that.
I hope it has nothing to do with me. It seems like every time I'm on here, there's some sort of issue. I think, one of the first guests you had years ago. And,
well, it's been a little while since you've been on the show, Alberto. We're glad to have you. And I'm going to ask you the question that she raised about riding at night. How would you advise someone that's antsy about riding at night?
Yeah. Well, so I couldn't hear what she said, but what's her issue? What is she doesn't like riding at night? Is she afraid, or?
She just doesn't like riding at night.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's personally, I like riding at night, but she has to see what she's afraid of. Is she afraid of being by herself at night? Is she afraid of, the type of setting? Is it the cars, or is it that she just doesn't want to be alone? So
I don't know, but like on the World Time Trials, being alone wouldn't have been a major problem because there's always somebody not too far away.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, like 24-hour World, for example, she was competing there, right? That's what she did, the 6 hours at 24 in Borrego.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the perfect place for her to, I guess, conquer that fear because, like you said, there is always riders on the course, and there are officials basically almost everywhere at that big crossing down there, which is the only crossing that you do during the race. So maybe working herself little by little, trying to get out early where she's training at home. I don't know if she's in the U.S. or if she's overseas. Is she here in America or is she somewhere else?
Yeah, she's in Arkansas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, nowadays we have really good lighting, but like I was saying, it depends what she's afraid of. If she's afraid of cars or if she's afraid of just being by herself.
I don't know if it's fear so much, just doesn't like it. But like we were talking before we went on the air, you and I were chatting about that. Lighting used to be so awful, and you couldn't tell if you were going uphill or downhill or what was going on, but lighting has improved so dramatically, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, if it's just something that she doesn't like, it's a different setting. I think it's a different setting. Like if you go on multi days during the day, you want night to fall because you want the change, and then when night falls, you want the day to come. So it's just it's a change that you get when you're doing this type of ultra, cycling or ultra running race or whatever it is that you're doing. You're looking forward to that. So it's different. Um, if she's never done it, I think she'll probably like it once she starts doing more of it. So it probably is just a matter of time before she gets used to it. And most of the people that I know, they enjoy the night. Some people like it less than others, and some people they could ride it better at night than during the day. And it has to do with everything, with the heat, with the cold, and then with the terrain. With the terrain too, so it changes. But she has to try it. She has to try it, just little by
Or
little.
maybe
Like,
to find somebody she could ride with who's
There you go.
experienced with
Yep.
riding at night.
yeah,
Definitely.
Somebody to ride along with, yeah.
Yep. That's
yeah,
one of my
Well,
favorite
we're not
times to
trying to
ride
push
now.
her into something she
Yep.
doesn't want to do, but I thought it was an interesting question.
Yep.
Alberto, how long have you been doing the Florida 500? What year is this coming up?
So I started in 2021. So that was the first year that I had the race. And the first year, Amanda Coker, and she was just off, I think, about 2 years from the big record that she had of recording the most mileage, I think, by pretty sure it's by a woman and a man in a year, and maybe the first person to reach like some 200,000 miles. And so she came to the race that year in 2021, and she had the record, and she had a really fast crosser. She got across in something like 27 hours from Jacksonville to Key West. So yeah, 2021 was the first year. Then I had her again in 2022, and I managed to to be a participant of the race and the race director also. And that year, Marco Ballo showed up, and he had a great race too. He broke the record, Amanda's record. And then this year in 2023, Joe Bart from Ireland, who is very active in all the ultra cycling races and everything, he came down and he raced it, and he broke Ballo's record by a few minutes. So if the trend continues, hopefully this year or 2024, somebody will come along and maybe they keep lowering the record and it keeps getting faster. But this year, so 2023, it was a fast race. It was a really fast race. Like, I was only race director, and then I was also crewing at the same time for a two-man team, and everybody was ahead of time at the checkpoints from the minute they got going from Jacksonville. Everybody was moving really, really fast, and it was also the first year that I had two-man teams racing the race, so they were moving really quick. Like the second year that we had the race in 2022, Dave. A rider with riding an HPV, a high performance vehicle, and he was moving really, really fast. Like he was doing at some points, he was doing like 30, 40 miles an hour on the way down from Jacksonville. And he was, and you basically can't touch that. I think, if I remember correctly, he went under 24 hours by himself. Like the people that I had covering the race from Fort Lauderdale to Key West, they were like, well, this guy's moving really, really quick. So I was like, you guys got to get going and get to the finish. And then some people ran into him and, going through Miami. But we managed to get to the finish line before he got there, because he was 4 hours ahead of everybody. But it's a fast course. It's a fast course. But some years you get lucky. And I've ridden up and down A1A from Jacksonville to Key West, up and down a couple of times through the years, in the past 13, 14 years. And it's hit and miss. Some years you could find a tailwind all the way, I guess, north to south, and some years it turns the other way. Like the first year, they weren't that lucky with the wind, and Amanda ran into headwinds until she got out of Key Largo, and then as you're going, the keys that keep turning, and then the wind starts pushing you, and you start getting a bit of a tailwind. And then it got better. The second year with Battle, and I was also in the race, it might have been a headwind all the way, then it always flips a little bit at the end. Like the last 100 miles, I would say the prevailing winds are always going to be pushing you. And then this year, 2023, it seems like they had pretty good run and everybody was happy and they were moving. I mean, the boys and girls were moving. There was another lady from Italy, Dorina, who came down and she was also moving really, really well. And the two-man teams were moving well. There was a guy in the recumbent that came from, I think, Indiana or Illinois, and he was moving well, but everybody was moving well. My year, Schlitter, also in the recumbent, he was also in the race, and he was moving really, really good too. And we passed each other for basically the whole race up until the end that we came out of Florida City. But to answer the original question, Lee, this 2024 is going to be the fourth year. So 2021, 22, 23, and then 24 now next year. And it's a RAM qualifier that it was last year. So I contacted Rick, and he was gracious enough, and I'm thankful that he turned the Florida 500 into a RAM qualifier.
Alberto, are you on your laptop?
I'm on my cell phone.
Okay, I was going to say if you can tilt it just a little bit. You're chopping the top of your head off. We can't see your whole beautiful face. That's better.
All right, there you go.
Great. Now, as I understand it, you have supported and unsupported riders. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
And you mentioned a two-person team. Do you have slots for other kinds of teams besides that?
Yeah, so 2-man, 4-man. Ricardo, who is one of the original racers that raced the race the first year, he's going to do it on a tandem this year. And he has a big group of cyclists that ride with him here in Miami. And he might have some of the people of the riders that he trains with that are part of his group that might do it in a 4 or an 8-man team. But like I said, last year was the first year that we had teams racing it, and they were 2-man teams. So we had 3 2-man teams. So we had a real race, and they raced it. They raced the hell out of it. So they had a good time.
That's awesome.
It was good. I enjoyed it. The gap between the 2-man team that won, the 2-man team that was in second place, and that was the team that I was crewing for, and the third 2-man team that finished in third place, it was less than an hour. So it was really, really close. So we had a good time. I mean, those guys, they just raced the hell out of the course. So it was good.
Alberto, do you have registrations open now? Do you have slots available?
Yeah, registration is open, and we have about, I think it's like 10, 12 people already signed up, and that's pretty good. I was looking at last year's registration, and I think we had close to that. It was maybe 10, 12 people that raced last year. This year, I think we have more people already than we had last year. We have people that are coming back that are racing it. So one kid, Paul Wicker, is really good. He's been here already in 2022, 2023. He's coming back now. There is Trent Tonabene. He's from here. He's from Florida. So he's racing it again. And he's done it unsupported. So the 2 times that he's raced it, he's done it unsupported. Marshall Nord from North Carolina, he raced it and won it 2020. I think the first year that I had it, the unsupported. So he's racing it this year again. And I'm pretty sure he's going to do a supported this year. Then I have to check to see. Hopefully I could get enough people helping me for the race, and I could race it again like I did last year. I was originally signed up to race it in 2023, but I couldn't get the sport, so I switched it to crewing and race directing. But this year, I'm hopeful that I could race the race and be out there with those guys. That would be good.
There are a few people who do that. I always admire them. It's
definitely
hard to grasp the fact you can direct it and race it too, but
there you go.
More power to you.
Yeah. If somebody wanted to volunteer or help, would they contact you via the website?
Yeah. They could contact me. They could either, send me an email, send me a text, or give me a call. And, I talk to them. I'm always looking for help. I race usually my family and then friends that I have down here that help me for the race. And We had a good time. We have a good time. It's a good course. It's a safe course. It's and it's fast. It's fast. Even if the wind's not helping you, it's still a really fast course.
Mm-hmm.
Like last year, Joe Bard, he went. I think it was 27 hours and 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So he lowered Balo's record by something like 13 minutes, and it was he was ahead by almost like maybe an hour by the time that he hit Key Largo. So basically, you're coming out of Carson Road, coming out of Miami, then you hit Key Largo, and then it's a left turn that you take, and it's just 100 miles straight shot all the way to Key West. So it's just a drag race all the way to Key West. But of course, you've been out there for 20 hours already, and so it was fun watching the race. And then this year, for the first time, I had trackers for the race that we used the tracker, which is the same trackers that Ram uses from track leaders, and you could see so you could do that watching. We all like to do when we're not racing, and so it was pretty fun seeing him, come down, a highway all the way to Key West, and then see how close it was gonna be. It's gonna break the record. It's not gonna break the record, but I mean, 13 minutes in UltraCycling. That's pretty close. And he absolutely he just buried himself to get the record from Balas. That was pretty fun to watch. And the guy Paul Wicker that was he was racing unsupported. He was about maybe an hour and change behind him, and he almost broke my record unsupported by similar time, by something like 13, 14 minutes. I managed to hang on, but that kid is very good too. He's also very, very strong. He's really young. He's like in his early 20s or something. Yeah, the mentality that he has for racing UltraCycling is good and very good. And then there was another racer from Ingolf who went to do Ram this year. He had some trouble over there, but he had a great race also. He was a few minutes behind Paul Wicker, and he was also moving really, really good. And that's another. He's originally from Germany, I believe. And he has a really good mentality also for UltraCycling. And I hosted 12-hour race the weekend before in Miami, and he did that race. And after doing that race, he rode from Miami. Well, first of all, he rode to Miami from Fort Myers. Did the 12 hours. He got his backpack back on, and then he rode straight back to Fort Myers.
Wow.
Some really crazy amount of miles. So, and everybody in Miami was impressed with what he was doing. And he, in the 12-hour race, he finished like third or fourth place or something like that. He got over 200 miles in that. So it was good. So hopefully he'll be back this year. I have to check. I don't think he signed up yet, but I talked to him a few times after he got out of Ram and all that, and so I'm gonna contact him and see if I could get him to come do the race again.
Excellent.
Well,
But go ahead.
Yeah, and so the course is essentially flat.
Essentially flat.
But the winds can be an issue for you.
The winds can be an issue, but like I was saying, it's not that big a difference. If we get lucky and they're pushing you, they could help you. If they're not pushing you that much, it's not really that big a difference, because the road in the East Coast, especially down here on A1A, the road is really fast. Unlike in the West Coast, where the road is slow. When you're going in Ram, you got slow roads. But Florida, just the way they build the pavement, it's a lot faster than basically anywhere else that I've ridden. It's faster than in California. The road is faster than in Oregon, in California. Definitely faster than going through the desert and all that. The road in the East Coast, especially here in that section, is really, really fast. You have the overpasses, but you never have to put the small chain ring when you're doing the Florida 500. It's really fast, and you protected in many ways. Like, even if the wind is not really helping you, maybe coming out of Daytona, maybe it's a little bit in your face, something like that. But then you have the night. Like, the night is always calm. The night is always calm, and the days are shorter, so you're gonna be riding a lot at night. And the temperature is also not really, really hot. So if you're going unsupported, you don't need anything. You don't need to carry a jacket. You don't need to carry arm warmers, leg warmers. I mean, this is just me and the people that I've seen doing the race unsupported. And also, to do it unsupported is really good because there is plenty of gas stations. There is plenty of towns along the way that you could get resupplies, and a lot of it. Like the ways that I've set it up for the checkpoints, the time stations, is being that it's either at a 7-Eleven that's open 24 hours or a gas station that's also open 24 hours. So you could always get supplies if you're going unsupported.
Gotcha.
And if you're going supported, of course, you have the van behind you.
Yeah.
And they're giving you everything you need. But it's easy for them, and it's a pretty course. Like driving down or riding down A1A, it's enjoyable.
Yes.
It's enjoyable. You don't really get to see Florida like that. All the little towns, Golden Beach, Daytona, going through Fort Pierce, Stewart, West Palm Beach, going by the house of President Trump and all that. It's really, really pretty. And usually when you come out of Stewart, you go through Hope Sound and all that. And I've always been through there at night, and it's so quiet. You go through, 3 tunnel streets, and the drawbridges, there's people fishing at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's really quiet. So and it goes back to riding at night. It's really, really fun doing this thing at night. There's just people fishing out there, and it's really quiet, and it's only you, and there is no traffic. There is no traffic at night on A1A. When you enter Miami, basically the only areas that you're gonna, and I tell during the rider meeting, I tell this to the riders, going through Fort Lauderdale, when you come out of Fort Lauderdale, then you're gonna have to go outside of the airport, outside of the Fort Lauderdale airport. And I've had a couple of people that have trouble in there, but everybody gets out. But that's one part that if they're going through the day, they could hit traffic, and then going through Miami. So you're looking at 3-4 miles through Fort Lauderdale that you're gonna hit traffic. Not hit traffic because you're on the bike, but there's more people in that area.
Yeah.
And then going through Miami. But even when you go into traffic in Miami, it's enjoyable because you already have 400 miles on you, and it could be fun to see people. And if you go through there during the day, there's a lot of riders. There's a lot of riders, and then they have to be careful in there that they're not going to follow a group of riders that is going to take them somewhere and it's going to get them off course. So it's a fun course, man. It's a fun course. It's a nice course, and it's a fast course. It's nice. Excellent. So I'm glad the way the race is going on is how it's going down.
Alberto, we don't have Sebring anymore. It's a gone thing. It's done for. So those of you who will miss going to Florida, here's a perfect opportunity to replace Sebring with something that's going to be a little different. Longitudinal, which should be appealing rather than just going around in circles. And so, Alberto, thank you for being with us. We appreciate it. We wish you have a good ride. We'll try to make people aware of it when you get closer so they can dot watch you. We hope you're able to ride. And anybody got any questions out there, we'll get you in touch, okay?
All right, Lee, thank you. And let me say one more thing. So the alternative to Sebring is the Miami 12-hour, which is the weekend before the Florida 500. And last year, I had a couple riders. So like I was saying, Ingolf, and then Mike, who is a friend of mine from New York, he came down to do a 12-hour race. And then he did the Florida 500 also as a 2-man team with another friend of mine, with Andres. And they had never met each other. They met at the starting line, and they clicked, they connected. And Mike just came down so he did the race. He did the 12-hour race. Then he had work to do in New York, went back to New York. And like 2 days before the Florida 500, was like, listen, I'm coming down. I'll be there tomorrow. So
that's awesome.
And so like I said, 2 races. So if you're looking for a Sebring alternative, the Florida 500 or the Miami 12 hours, and I'm running them both, and it'll be good. Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay. Well, you can find that information by going to the link to Florida 500 on our website, ucm.bike. Thanks a lot, Alberto. Always good to see you.
Yes,
Been
thank
too
you.
long.
Thank you, Jimmy.
And we'll be
Thank you.
chatting again before too long, Alberto.
All
So,
right, bye,
Greg, you
guys.
think Jim, you think you can dig up Greg and find
Yep.
us? Thanks, everyone, for
I'll
watching.
make sure he's out there.
Thank you for
Thank you.
a great time, Alberto.
Yes.
All right, bye, guys. Good talking to you.
Hang in there for a little bit.
All right. Yeah, do what you tell me to do.
This is Gregory Zuber, thanking you for watching and sharing.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.